Present and past tense. Review. You've now seen and practiced all the tenses in English. Let's review and see what you remember. Present tense. Simple. We use the present simple to talk about repeated actions or events. Example, I walk to class every day. Things that are always true. Example, fish swim in water. Things you like and don't like. Example, I don't like tomatoes. Abilities, opinions, and feelings. Example, I love swimming. Continuous. We use the present continuous to talk about things that are happening now. It is raining. Things that people are doing now. I am cooking. For past tense. Simple. We use the past simple to talk about events that happened one time in the past. I went to Fiji on my honeymoon. That's one time. Events that happened many times in the past. I drank coffee every day last year. Things that existed or were true in the past. Dinosaurs existed millions of years ago. With key time markers like yesterday or last year. Yesterday, I woke up late. We use the past continuous to describe the background in a story written in the past tense. It was raining hard when the electricity went out. To describe an unfinished action that was interrupted by another event or action. I was watching TV when the phone rang. To indicate a change in plans. I was going to stay home to work this weekend, but I decided to go to the beach at the last minute because the weather was way too beautiful not to go. To make a very polite request. I was wondering if you had a minute to talk about an upcoming project. The present perfect is used to describe an action that starts in the past and is still going on in the present or ended recently. Uses of the present perfect include emphasis of the result, action that is still going on, action that ended recently, finished action that has an influence on the present, action that has taken place once, never, or many times before. Some keywords to look for are already, ever, just, never, not yet, so far, until now, and up to now. The present perfect continuous is used to describe an action that started in the past and continues in the future. We use it when we are interested in both the process and the result. We use it to refer to actions that have just finished when we are interested in the results. We use it for stative verbs, verbs that are typically related to thoughts, emotions, relationships, senses, states of being, and measurements. Stative verbs are not usually used in the continuous form. Instead, they use the present perfect. Examples of stative verbs include know, hate, hear, understand, want, and so on. Okay, so more past. We use the past perfect to talk about a time earlier than now. Something that happened before another action or event in the past. Past simple and past perfect are often used together to form one complete thought. Either event can be mentioned first because the tense makes it clear which one happened first and which one happened after. The past perfect continuous is used to show that an action started in the past and continued up until another time in the past. As with the present perfect continuous, it is used when we are more interested in the process of something rather than its result. We use it to indicate that an event or an action started in the past, continued in the past, and finally finished at a specified point in the past. Common keywords for the past perfect continuous. When, for, since. Simple present. The simple present form is subject or subject pronoun plus verb, complement. The subject is a noun, a person, place, thing, or idea, or a pronoun. I, you, he, she, it, we, or they. A verb is the action. To be is the verb. The complement is the rest of the sentence. Note: the third person, he, she, or it, verb changes. It adds s or es. Positive sentences. I go to work. We go to work. She goes to work. To make a sentence negative, add do not before the verb. Example, I do not go. Note, third person he, she, it changes to does not. I do not like cookies. We don't like cookies. It does not like cookies. To ask a question in the present simple, change the order of do or does and the subject. Do I play sports? Do we play sports? Does she play sports? Present continuous, the form is subject or subject pronoun plus be plus present participle. And we use to be, which is an auxiliary or helping verb. And the present participle is verb plus ing. Positive sentences. I am working. They are working. She is working. To make a sentence negative, add not to the verb be. I'm not sleeping. They aren't sleeping. She is not sleeping. To ask a question in the present continuous, change the order of the verb to be and the subject. Am I sleeping? Is it sleeping? Present perfect. The present perfect is formed with have or has plus past participle. The past participle is the form of a verb often ending in ed. There are also several irregular participles such as go to gone, see to seen, be to been, have to had, eat to eaten, and drink to drunk. The form is subject plus have or has and past participle. Example sentences that are positive. I have been to Paris 3 times. We watched that movie before. He has cooked a large dinner. To make a sentence negative, add not after has or had. I haven't learned Italian. They haven't gone home yet. She hasn't used a fax machine before. To ask a question with a modal, change the order of the modal and the subject. Have you run a marathon before? Have we said anything about it? Has he painted a sunset? Present perfect continuous. The formula for present perfect continuous is subject plus have or has been plus verb and then ing. She has been cooking all day. They have been sleeping for 10 hours. You have been dreaming of this day for years. To make a sentence negative, add not after has or have. We haven't been talking very much lately. I have not been eating very well this week. She hasn't been saving up money for college. To ask a question, change the order of has or have been plus verb, ing, and the subject. Question. Have you been waiting for very long? Have they been playing soccer all day? Has he been treating you nicely? Past simple. Positive sentences in the past are formed similarly to the present. The verb changes based on who the subject is. Subject, subject pronoun plus simple past verb plus complement. Okay, positive examples. I ate dinner early yesterday. We saved some cake from the party for us. She turned on the light. To make a sentence negative, add did not or didn't before the base form of the verb. The same is true for all subjects, i.e. you, I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. I did not have time to watch the game. She didn't have time to watch the game. The simple past question form for other action verbs is, did you see the sunset? Did we see the sunset? Past continuous. You can see the structure here. I was cleaning the bathroom when you stopped by. She was cleaning the bathroom when you stopped by. To make a sentence negative, add not to the verb to be. I was not planning far enough ahead. She wasn't planning far enough ahead. To ask a question in the present continuous, change the order of the verb to be and the subject. Was I speaking too loudly? Was she speaking too loudly? Or were we speaking too loudly? Past perfect. The past perfect is formed by had plus past participle. Past participles end with ed. There are many irregular participles. Positive. I had listened to the song before it became the theme of the movie. We had washed all of the dishes before we ate dessert. She had wanted to be a professional athlete before she had a life-changing accident. To make a sentence negative, add not after had. I hadn't considered other options before I went into the military. We had not talked about having kids before we got married. He had not tried that flavor before today. To ask a question with the present perfect, change the order of had and the subject. Have you ever tried to change her opinion before last night? Had we answered the phone before we stopped by? Past perfect continuous. The formula for this is subject plus had been plus verb plus ing. Positive sentences. She had been waiting for a half hour before the bus got there. I had been studying all day when the power went out. You had been listening to me for hours before you shared your opinion. To make a sentence negative, add not after had. We hadn't been communicating until we took a class. I had not been sleeping for more than an hour when an earthquake hit. She hadn't been practicing piano as much as she should have. To ask a question, change the order of the has plus has been, verb and ing, and the subject. Had you been dating for very long? Had they been trying to have a child? Had he been lying to you all along? Right, example sentences with all the different versions, different verb tenses. You don't sleep enough. I am sleeping in late today. I have slept in later before. I have been sleeping in lately. I slept until noon yesterday. I was sleeping when my dog started barking. I had been asleep for an hour when you got home. I had been sleeping for no more than 2 minutes when you had texted me. She eats vegetables most days. She is eating ice cream right now. She has never eaten sushi before. She hasn't been eating meat for a while now. She ate breakfast early yesterday. She was eating breakfast as she drove to work. She had eaten her breakfast before the kids woke up. She hadn't been eating on a healthy diet when she gained all that weight.